Hello everyone, welcome to RV Trader's webinar all about increasing your connections with text messaging. Before we dive in, let's go over today's agenda. This will be a high-level 10-minute webinar where we'll cover why texting should matter to you and your dealership, best practices to follow when texting potential buyers, and review what RV Trader's SMS text messaging feature is, how it works, and how you can track messages in Trader Tracks. Then we'll talk through next steps on how you can get started if you're not already enrolled, and lastly, we'll wrap up with Q&A. So why does texting matter? We know that texting is widely popular, but did you know that it's the most prevalent form of communication for American adults under 50? 97% of text messages are read, and of those, 90% are read within just 4 to 6 minutes. And 81% of all American adults use text messaging. Now, none of this is probably surprising, but worth mentioning to emphasize how important it is to so many people. You rely on incoming phone calls as leads to your dealership. But here's an interesting fact for you. If consumers are given the option to choose between making a phone call or sending a text message for customer support, over half say they would choose text messaging. And same with email. You rely on incoming email messages to your dealership with inquiries from customers, but when comparing text with email, 98% of text messages are opened compared to only 22% of emails, and the response time for text messages is 90 seconds compared to 90 minutes for emails. The main takeaway from all of these statistics is that consumers want to text. The challenge, however, is that while the vast majority of consumers say they want to use text messaging to communicate with businesses, less than half of all businesses are actually equipped to use text as a way to communicate with their consumers. In fact, 39% of RV Trader visitors say they would use text messaging to discuss an RV with a dealer if it were offered as an option. That's a significant amount of people who prefer the quick and easy route of text messaging. Well, lucky for you, RV Trader now has SMS text messaging available to your dealers for free. This will enable a text option to appear on your RV listing pages, and customers can use that to reach out to your dealership. And we'll get into more details about that feature a little bit later, but first let's start with some texting best practices. We want to share some simple tips and tricks on how you can make the most out of your text connections with customers. Before sending your first text message to a potential buyer, designate the person responsible for text messaging consumers on behalf of your dealership. It's important that this person is familiar with and confident in his or her text messaging abilities. If that person's not you, feel free to share this webinar with them and maybe even have a few practice text conversations before they start responding to real customers. Once designated texters are ready, set expectations with them on how quickly they should be responding to incoming messages. In our poll, 63% of RV Trader consumers say they expect a response within 30 minutes of receiving the initial text message. So we recommend responding within that amount of time. Keep in mind, similar to phone calls, the text messaging feature is available 24/7 on site. In your first text message to a consumer, it's important to introduce yourself and include your name and company name. And a helpful tip, if you'd like to use a similar introduction with every customer, to save time and effort, simply save this text message in the notes section of your phone to copy and paste for future introductions. As the rest of your conversation unfolds, keep your language clear and concise. Messages should be easy to understand and stick to the questions at hand. Stay on topic and be sure to text responses that can be easily understood by even beginner RVers. That means no complicated explanations or fancy jargon when describing the units. Newbies may not know what a hula skirt, a sewer donut, or boondocking is just yet. It's important that you're professional, helpful, informative, and friendly, but steer clear from using slang, abbreviations, or emojis. Special characters and emojis can appear differently and have different meanings on various devices, so it's better safe than sorry. Now this one's a given. Use correct grammar. We recommend spell checking your text messages and rereading them for errors before hitting that send button. Just like using Microsoft Word, most devices underline misspelled words in text messages, so you know they may be misspelled. Some phones also have predictive text, meaning that it autocorrects a misspelled word to the correct spelling. Just be sure you're paying attention to all of this before sending each text message. Remember, once you hit send, there's no going back. Continue your conversation until all questions have been answered. Try not to get sidetracked as you wait for the customer to respond, and make sure all of your responses are sent in a timely manner. As you wrap up, offer next steps such as coordinating a follow-up meeting or phone call, but be sure you're not being too pushy or too salesy in your verbiage. The person texting may be just in the research phase and simply inquiring, but not quite ready to buy yet, and that's okay. Even if the customer declines your offer to take a next step, no matter the outcome of the conversation, be sure to end the exchange by thanking the person for their inquiry. Show your appreciation for their interest, even if it's a no at this time, because you never know, they may change their mind or come back in the future to make a purchase. So here are a few good and bad examples of text message exchanges to learn from, based on all the best practices we just went over. You can see in this one, it went pretty smoothly. The dealer asks what he can help the customer with. The customer asks a question about the Arby's awning. The dealer answers the question with enough details and offers them the chance to come into the dealership. And the customer says yes. This is a great example of a good introduction and being clear, concise, friendly, and helpful. Now, on the other hand, here's an example of a not so great text conversation. The dealer asked the customer to come by the dealership and the customer declined. But that part isn't really the problem. In this case, the dealer's messages included abbreviations, a typo, and an emoji, and the tone was a little too casual and a little too pushy after the customer politely declined. So an improved version of that situation could be this example. The dealership asks the customer to come by and the customer declines. The dealer then thanks the customer for reaching out and offers them the chance to stop by or text if and when they're ready. The dealer's tone is appropriate, spelling errors are fixed, and the customer likely has a positive final impression of the dealer. Now, the moment I'm sure you've been waiting for, let's dive into the new SMS text messaging feature on RVTrader. SMS stands for Short Message Service and is just another name for a text message. An SMS is generally sent from one mobile device to another over a cellular network. If you go and opt in to enable RVTrader's SMS text messaging feature, this means your potential customers can reach you via text message right from your online listings. Benefits of opting in include extending your reach to shoppers who prefer that communication channel, which can help you exceed your acquisition goals. Plus, it's completely free and easy to enable, and managing and tracking your messages could not be more simple. Once our team sets up your phone number for text messaging and your listings are connected, RVTrader website visitors can go to your vehicle detail pages, and in addition to call, email, and save buttons, they'll also have the option to click on a text button. Once they click, the user's texting app will open with a pre-populated message that includes the RV and stock number. Users can send the message as is, or they can add more text to include specific questions or comments. Once the customer's message is sent, they'll receive an automatic reply thanking them for their inquiry and letting them know that a representative from the dealership will be reaching out soon. Meanwhile, the dealer receives the customer's text message on their cell phone. It will include the message as well as a reply to phone number, and dealers should reply to that phone number directly. Be sure not to respond to this automated message, but open up a new text message to that reply to phone number. The dealer will then text the customer's phone number with an introduction and a response, and continue the conversation using all those tips and tricks and best practices that we just went through.
How do you track those messages in Trader Tracks? Text data will be available in Trader Tracks as soon as text messages are received.
So this means you can track all of your messages in real time. You'll see the total number of text messages you've exchanged in a given time period as shown with the arrows here. And while you're there, take a moment to also review the rest of your connections: website referrals, emails, phone calls, maps to dealerships, live chats, and now text messages. We recommend regularly checking this section to keep track of all connections and leads coming your way from RVTrader. You'll also see a messages section where you can review details of each exchange for your dealership, including the date and time the messages were sent and received, the customer's name and phone number, and your text message history. Instead of searching for these details in your phone, this section helps you more easily manage and monitor conversations in one convenient location. So now that you know why your dealership should be using text messaging, what best practices to follow, and how the RVTrader texting feature works, what are your next steps? If you're not already signed up for texting, reach out to your RV Trader representative to set up your free textable phone number, or you can call our support team at 877-354-4068 or email us at marketing@rvtrader.com. Again, the process for us to set up texting for you is quick and easy, so think it through, and we encourage you to reach out when you're ready. If you are already set up with text messaging and you just have questions or want to provide feedback on the feature, again, reach out to your RV Trader customer service representative and they're happy to help. That's what we're here for. Alrighty, so we'll just pause here and I'm going to check if any questions have come through during today's presentation. And there are a few, so let's go through them together. The first one is, can we turn off the text messaging during certain times of day? So no, you're not able to turn off text messaging because like phone calls, we make them available for consumers 24 hours a day as they're shopping for vehicles. So no, you're not able to turn off the feature at any time. Will our personal cell phone numbers be seen or used on the site? No, your personal cell phone number will not be seen on the website and will actually mask your number with an 800 number. So there's no need to worry about your personal information on site. Let's see, how do I change the phone number text messages are going to? That's no problem. You just need to reach out to our customer service team to change out your number, and that's definitely quick and easy to do. What if we receive spam text messages? Great question. Unfortunately, we can't avoid that possibility. So if you do receive a spam text message, I would say just to let our team know, share the phone number it came from, the context of the message, and we can report it to our phone number provider to help reduce those types of messages in the future. Will we be charged for text messages? So it is completely free to enable the text messaging feature on RV Trader. But as far as text rates or charges on your personal cell phone, I recommend just to be sure you know the details of any text message rates that may apply within your plan before signing up for this feature. Alrighty, that looks like all that's come through today, but if you're watching this webinar on demand at a later date, feel free to use the chat button feature to ask additional questions and someone from our team will get back to you within 24 hours. Again, feel free to give us a call at 877-354-4068 or email us at marketing@rvtrader.com. Thanks so much for attending today's webinar, and we hope you found this information helpful and are able to make the most of all your future text connections.